I call the Monday, April 27th, 2026 meeting of the Louisa County Board of Supervisors to order. Mr. Barlow.
I move that we convene in closed session pursuant to the following subsections of Virginia Code Section 2.2, 3711. In accordance with Section 2.2, 3711A5, discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry in the Mountain Road and Green Springs District where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry interest in locating or expanding its facility in the community. 2, in accordance with Section 2.2, 3711A8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel.
You moved and second that we go into closed session. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're in closed session. Been properly moved and seconded that we go back into open session. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're now back into open session. I will now poll members certify that, to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as identified in the motion for which closed meeting was convened were discussed and considered by the board. If any member believes that the board varied from the purposes stated for the closed meeting, please state so and the reason prior to casting a vote. Mr. McCotter?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Barlow?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Woodward?
Yes.
Well, we're now back into open session. I would welcome those of you who are in attendance here in the public meeting room and those that are joining us online. This is the Monday, April 27th, 2026 meeting of the Louisa County Board of Supervisors. We will start tonight's meeting, as we always do, with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation will be by Mr. McCotter. If you'd like to join us, please stand.
Let's pray. Father, I humbly ask you to strengthen us and all the citizens of Louisa County to not only shine like a lamp on a nightstand with good deeds, but that we are also able to persevere in the faith that we were made to serve our brothers and sisters with your sacrifice as our example. In all things, help us to discern what is from you and what is not, so that we glorify you in all that we do. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Any changes?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We do have the removal of one of the presentations tonight, and that is recognition number 2. Aiden West is not able to be with us this evening.
All right.
Move.
All right, been properly moved and seconded to adopt the amended agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman, may I bring one point to your attention? We did tweak the resolution of posthumous appreciation to former Supervisor Richard Havasey for his service to Louisa County. There was some additional service mentions that Mr. Barlow wanted and a correction that needed to be in there as well. So there is a revised version that is physically printed at each one of your desks.
So you're approving the revised edition?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Second agree.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is recognitions. We do have a recognition tonight. I got here right under the wire and said, what's this big box? I think I'm about ready to find out what this big box is. Recognition recognizing Eagle Scout Ryan Stacy for his flag disposition box project in Louisa County.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Goodwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Eagle Scout Stacy, maybe members of his family, Scout leadership, or Ryan, is it just going to be you? We'll have you stand right up here by your flag box and face the audience while I read the resolution. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, members of the public, yes.
Hold on.
Oh, got more people. Excellent.
There's more on the way.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the public, this is a resolution recognizing Eagle Scout Ryan Stacy for his flag disposition box project. Whereas Ryan Stacy, a dedicated member of the Boy Scouts of America, has achieved the distinguished rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor attainable in scouting, demonstrating exceptional leadership, service, and commitment to his community. And whereas as part of the requirements to attain the rank of Eagle Scout, Ryan Stacy planned, developed, and successfully completed a community service project benefiting the citizens of Louisa County. And whereas Ryan Stacy designed and constructed a flag disposition box to provide residents of Louisa County with a respectful and proper means to retire worn or damaged U.S. flags in accordance with the traditions and protocols of the Boy Scouts of America and the United States Flag Code. And whereas this project promotes civic pride, patriotism, and respect for the American flag while offering a lasting and meaningful resource to the community. And whereas Ryan Stacy demonstrated an initiative, leadership, and dedication in organizing volunteers, coordinating resources, and completing a project that will serve the county for years to come. And whereas the Louisa County Board of Supervisors recognizes the importance of encouraging youth leadership and community service and commends Ryan Stacy for his outstanding achievement and contributions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Louisa County Board of Supervisors hereby congratulates Ryan Stacy on attaining the rank of Eagle Scout and commends him for his flag disposition box project for Louisa County. And be it further resolved that the Board expresses its sincere appreciation for his service, leadership, and commitment to the community, and extends best wishes for his continued success in all endeavors. Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate what you're doing. Mr. Woodward, I would ask that you present this. I'll give you a microphone to talk into.
Ryan, on behalf of the Louisa County Board of Supervisors and the citizens of Louisa County, I'm happy to present this to you for the wonderful job that you've done, and congratulations on becoming an Eagle Scout. You are a great example for the young people in the whole country, and we're proud that you're a Louisa County citizen. It's a real honor for you to be here and to be able to present this to you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan, as your next act of public service, so that I can see that screen, would you mind just moving it maybe right over in front of those chairs or something over there?
I forgot about that.
See, once you're an Eagle Scout, the responsibility continues to grow all the time, so that's fine right there. Thank you very
We'll
much.
take care of it from there.
If you'd like to say something, you feel free at the microphone. You don't have to, but if you want to say anything, we'd be more than happy to hear what you have to say.
Well, I just want to say thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to do my project here.
Thank you very much. Really quickly, anytime we have young people here, I like to make a big deal out of it. So really quickly, we're going to start with you. Just stand up very quickly, introduce yourself, and we'll go right down through here. We want to know who everybody's here. Okay?
Eric Walls, Eagle Scout Advisor.
Susan Stacy, I am Ryan's grandmother, Gloria. Mr. Quarles has been the scout, scout master of Troop 3 in Louisa for over 20 years.
Wow.
He's been in scouting for over 40 years.
Thank you. You must have started when you were 2. You're with them. Go ahead.
Katie Slager, I'm the committee chair for the troops.
Gerald Williams.
Renee Brown.
Steve Brown, I'm the Scoutmaster, current Scoutmaster. Patrick Henry.
Thank you. Is anybody else with the Scouts?
Paul Beery, proud parent.
Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you, young man, for the box and for your Eagle Scout project. Ryan, you've done a great job. You all do a great job, And it's from young people like Scouting and FFA and 4-H and all these other wonderful organizations that grow the leaders of this county for tomorrow that eventually probably going to sit up here in these chairs. So we appreciate you all being here very, very much. Congratulations again, sir.
Thank you. One more thing, I just want to recognize my wife. She lost her voice. Blanche Qualls.
Smart move.
She's been with me the whole 40 years.
Thank you. Thank you all. We appreciate it. Next, we're going to move on to public comment period. I don't have any cards if anyone wants to address the board. You have a card, though, so come on up. When you... well, we'll just start with you. That's the only card I have at this point. State your name and your voting district, and I'll give you 3 minutes. You're not here about a public hearing, correct?
No, sir, I am not.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And I'll give you a 15-second warning when you have 15 seconds.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jason DeVilliers. I am a Louisa County resident, but I'm here on behalf of the Charlottesville-Albemarle Airport. You have a resolution before you supporting our efforts to secure nonstop service from Charlottesville to Boston. And we really appreciate that resolution of support. When airlines see a resolution like that from the surrounding community, from the region, it gets their attention. And this will certainly be a game changer for air travel in the whole region. So on behalf of the Airport Authority, we thank you for your support, and we're proud to have you as a partner.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Again, I don't have any cards. Is Ms. Hart?
Hold on. We approved that in the consent agenda, sir. That's approved.
We've already
did that.
approved it.
Yep.
Was there any doubt?
Not in my mind.
I didn't think so. Vicki Hart, Louisa District. I'm here to speak on behalf, I am a member of the board of the 250th Central Virginia anniversary. And we have some events planned in Louisa County and in Albemarle County that are all free. We sent out a press release to the Central Virginian, and I sent it to Tammy too. Oh, you didn't get it? Okay, well, I'll get you another one. But what we're having is on the 5th of July, there will be information regarding Louisa County and the effort that we were involved in to help the Declaration of Independence come about. And also on August 1st, there will be a free Revolutionary War period reenactment at the St. John's Church, which was built by one of Thomas Jefferson's builders of Monticello on Louisa Road. And all of the events will be free to the public, and we will have the ability for you to sign the Declaration of Independence yourself if you still believe in the tenets that the original Declaration was. So there will be more to come on that. We're really not doing anything on the 4th of July, except at UVA, where we will be reading the Declaration of Independence, and we will have some speakers there too, but that's on the campus of UVA. So I just wanted to let you know that that was going on. And it is separate from the events that are happening in the town of Louisa. These are happening in June, July, and in August, so that people can attend any of them. And as I said again, they're all free, so they're open to anyone. And we'll have George Washington will be there, and we'll have period dress costumes, and we'll also have the Frederick Douglass speech, and we will have a talk about Rebecca Johns, who's the Farmville 17-year-old that helped lead to the Brown versus Board of Education case. A lot of people do not know that one of the initiators of that was a local Farmville girl. And so that will all be part of our celebrations. But I just wanted to let you know, and that's it. More to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? All right. All right, seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. We'll move on to information and discussion items. The first discussion is tax relief for the elderly and disabled. Ms. Colvin.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. This is just an update. Several board members had requested that we look at changing our tax relief for the elderly and totally disabled. So at the next meeting, we will have a public hearing, and what was proposed was an increase in the income requirements by 10% in each level. So the maximum amount for the top level was $50,000. It'll move to $55,000, but each tier will go up 10%. So if you have any questions, that's for the next meeting, that we'll have that on the agenda.
Any questions for Ms. Colvin? Yes, sir.
Mr. Cobb, how you doing?
I'm good.
Is there any way that we can make sure that through our public relations person or whatever, that the citizens and the senior citizens know about this?
I've spoken with our Commissioner of the Revenue, and if and when this passes, then she will notify the people that have applied, and we have a plan in place to extend the application period for a 30-day period.
All right.
Just to keep verifying that we were still on board.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Could we also, Mr. Chairman, could we also
Yeah.
advertise that public hearing more than just in the paper? Maybe put it on social media? I know I've been getting some emails and people concerned about this issue. Maybe
Yeah.
getting the word out that this is coming up.
Just advertise the public notice,
Yeah,
just on public.
maybe Cindy
Yeah,
could just do that this is coming up.
absolutely. I'll get with her in the morning. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, I have a whole pile. I'm just going to stay here.
You're not even going to leave, are you? We're just going to move on to the next one.
Wanda.
Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman. Before we go on to that, if you all want to stay or want to go, whatever, don't feel like you have to stay, but if you want to see your local government in action, you can stay. We're about to pass the budget. We're about to set the tax rate, but whatever. So if you all want to go, you can certainly go.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you all for coming.
Got a lot of gas.
Requirements for citizenship in the community, very badge.
All right.
Oh, it's Miss Colvin. There she is.
Nancy. All right, next, under new business and action items is a resolution to establish and adopt the tax levy for fiscal year 2026-2027 for real estate, tangible personal property, merchants capital, machinery, and tools. Ms. Colvin.
Yes, we advertised for our budget public hearing notice, and for the past several budget presentations, we have had that we were keeping our tax rates the same, but with a 15% tax rebate on personal property for individuals. So that is what we have here proposed, and I know y'all have some changes you'd like to make.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Williams.
I would like to propose that instead of a rebate this year on personal property, we change the personal property rate from 243 to 207, which is a decrease in the rate. I would like to pontificate on that for just a second. A rebate is something that does not necessarily carry through from year to year. A rate change does, unless the board takes action to raise it back up. We've been attracting data centers intentionally. The citizens should see something for that. This is just a beginning of what I hope we're going to be able to share and do for the citizens. I'm going to pontificate a little bit more about that when we get the supervisor comment period at the end of the meeting tonight. It is so
Second.
moved.
Second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. All right, so what we've just said, that the real estate tax rate will remain at 72 cents per 100. Personal property tax rate will move from 243 to 207, which is a 15% reduction in the tax rate. Business purpose, personal property will remain at 190, and the rest remain unchanged. Is there any discussion on that? I do want to follow up on something Mr. Williams said. I think it's really important for our citizens to recognize, as he said, that this board and the previous board has been very active in getting what I believe is smart economic development in this county that will help us shift the tax burden from residential homeowners and personal property tax to the business that invests here. And this is not a rebate. This is a reduction in the tax rate. And it is my hope that as the revenue starts to come in and continues to come in over the next several years, that this is the first step towards continuing to reduce the personal property tax rate. And it is my hope that as that revenue continues to come in, that we can couple that with real estate rebates. I will never support a real estate tax reduction because we cannot separate residents from commercial. We can rebate residents while the commercial development continues to pay the full rate, but that we can continue to deliver that type of tax relief to our citizens. That's what was behind this board and previous boards going out and trying to attract this type of investment. And I believe the citizens of the county should benefit from that and see that from that. And that's allowing us to do that. And in my opinion, that's the first step tonight, that we see actual tax rate reduction if the board so desires. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a resolution to adopt the fiscal year 2027 operation and maintenance budget. Ms. Colvin.
Yes, now I did make a change to what was in your package, so you have a page in front of you with some backup. The only changes that were made, Friday I spoke with DHS, and we did realize what some federal tax cuts were going to be in the SNAP program. So I went ahead and adjusted them, but I also went and reduced our expenses by that amount from contingency. So the little bit we had set aside, I lowered that amount. And then I did in the 28 plan, so it doesn't affect this budget, the software project that we're working on with Treasurer's Office and Commissioner's Office. The rates are coming in a little higher, so I did add like $49,000 to bring that up to like $500,000 for that project between the 2 years. But it did not affect 27, and y'all don't have to approve that next year, but I just put it out there for a planning thing.
Move approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Last year, I shared some concerns about the budget process. I want to say tonight that I'm pleased now with the budget process, and those concerns have been addressed. Specifically, I wanted to evaluate ways to make the budget process even more transparent. And I'm pleased to say that through the budget roadshows, I feel like budget transparency was never stronger. I hope that if we do roadshows in the future, that more people show up. Because if you're very concerned about the county's budget, that is one of the places where you can express your concerns. And that's a great opportunity to have in-depth conversations with our staff, who are all there, as well as, for us to gain citizen insight. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to say something. I'd like to thank you, Ms. Colvin, because I know at the budget roadshows, this was a passion of yours. This is something you really wanted to implement, and you organized it, and you put them together. And so I really thank you for the budget that you've given us here, working with us, and the efforts that you did with the budget
Thank you
roadshow
very
and
much.
transparency. We couldn't do this without you, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. That's a unanimous budget. How about
Yay. Thank you, guys and ladies.
that? Next is a resolution to adopt the fiscal year capital improvement plan. Ms. Colvin.
Yes, this is to adopt the capital plan as it was presented for 27. There have been no changes to this discussed, other than me adding a planning item in 28 for the software
So moved.
project.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a resolution authorizing a budget supplement to Louisa County Public Schools for multiple capital projects.
This is a resolution that the schools have requested. They moved some of their projects from 27 and are requesting to do them in 26 so that they can happen over the summer while school is out. And they're using some of their turnback funds from 25 to fund that.
So move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve this budget supplement. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I am a school employee, transportation department, but I can't vote on this, so I just want to make sure that I'm transparent.
I'll second that. I'm also a school employee with the attendance and truancy department.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a resolution to authorize Tourism Advisory Committee recommendations for use of transit occupancy tax revenue. Mrs. King. She's there.
There she is.
That's what you call an entrance. I like that.
I was trying to do some quick math at the request of Mr. Mercader, actually for this. So good evening. At the outside agency request, as part of the budget process, the Louisa Art Center and the Historical Society came before you, and you said, hey, maybe we should look at using TOT money through the Tourism Advisory Committee as opposed to using general funds to fund these projects. And the Tourism Advisory Committee reviewed those requests, and they agreed with you to do a recommendation to use TOT funds and the tourism-related funds to fund $60,000 for the Art Center for fiscal year 27 and $14,160 to the Louisa County Historical Society for fiscal year 27 as well. The math I was trying to do, so I have to apologize, I didn't get a chance to do the percentage, but our fiscal year 27 funds for tourism-related expenses or the budget is $861,669. So that portion, using the $60,000 for Louisa Arts Center and the $14,000 for the Louisa Historical Society, we've now freed up that money in general fund so that can be used for essential services. So that's two of the three recommendations that's before you as a resolution. The third is for fiscal year 26, we do have some remaining funds that we'd like to put back into the community. The Art Center has requested $11,000 to support their Queen Legacy concert that'll be happening in August. The committee has made a recommendation to support that effort with a contingency that we would like to develop an MOU that we'd like to set up some kind of revenue sharing structure for tickets exceeding 350. We want there to be some kind of incentive for selling tickets. We don't want it to be, okay, here's the $11,000 and that's the end of it. We want it to have that structure and have that incentive.
So I don't really have a question because I know the answer to this, but I want you to explain it.
Sure.
Would you explain where this money comes from?
Absolutely. So the transit occupancy tax is a lodging tax. That's tax on visitors. This is not a tax on our residents. And roughly 60% of transit occupancy tax goes to the general fund, and 40% per legislation must be used for tourism-related purposes.
So I have a question. Mine's out of ignorance, though. So you have a revenue sharing plan. We're going to give them $11,000, and they're going to share revenue for tickets they sell over $350.
Correct.
And that's going to incentivize them to sell more? Because they keep 100% of everything under $350, right?
Right.
So how's that going to incentivize them to sell more? I'm just curious.
Sure. This particular event will be at the fairgrounds, so there's plenty of room to have, a large crowd there. Mm-hmm. So anything over that $11,000 mark, they would get more money towards their efforts. So if
they keep the money for the first 350 tickets, don't they?
They do. But
so it doesn't really incentivize them to sell more tickets.
It's more of a break even
it's
for
really,
them.
really, we get some money if they sell more than 350 tickets.
Sure.
It doesn't incentivize them to sell more tickets. So is that accurate?
Well, the $11,000 is a break even point, more or less. So, it just covers their operational cost. So if they're just covering their cost at the $11,000, they still have that incentive over the 350 tickets. So say they, just throwing this out there, if their percentage is 75% over that 350, it gives them something to strive for, is the logic behind it.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying is,
Mr.
yeah.
Yes, also, as you all are aware now with the agreement with the volunteer fire station, the county does operate the fairgrounds. So once we get past a certain point, we're going to probably start needing additional Porta-Johns or different facilities that we would need to offer where we may increase our costs for holding that event as well. So that revenue share would help offset.
I'm not arguing about the revenue share. I'm not arguing at all. It just seems like a misnomer that it's an incentive for them to sell more tickets. It's if they sell more tickets, we get a portion back to us. It's not really an incentive for them.
Sure.
Is that accurate?
That totally makes sense. And we went back and forth, Chris and I both did, as far as what makes sense to the staff recommendation to take to the committee.
I don't agree that doesn't make sense.
Sure.
But once, there's no incentive to sell more because we're covering all the costs for the event.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? What is the pleasure of the
So
board?
moved.
So moved.
Been properly moved and second that we authorize the Tourism Advisory Committee's recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Next is a resolution approving the county's participation in the proposed combined settlement agreement resolving opioid-related claims. Ms. Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This is a proposed settlement for participation by the county with 6 opioid defendants, and the total settlement amount is $97,625,000. And we will get a portion of that. Our share of that settlement is .009777.
Sounds like a small number.
It's not that small, actually.
Okay, all right.
And it does also, we have to deduct also attorney's fees, which right now is $12,203,000. So that has to be deducted as well from the settlement,
So we just need a resolution from us accepting this settlement?
except
So moved.
participation.
Moved and second that we approve this participation in the settlement. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Next is supervisor comments.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Jones. Yeah, go ahead.
This month has been a really busy month, and we still have some of our Boy Scouts. We have so many phenomenal youth here in our county, and this past week the FFA group organization had me sit as a panelist in their interviews for their future board members, and I have to say we have some phenomenal youth that interviewed this week, and it's great to see. One day they will be sitting in these seats. These are our future leaders. We also have had some other phenomenal other activities going on. We've had the Tournament of Champions, which I know Mr. McCotter has some stuff to say about. I got to volunteer. I've been volunteering since the first Tournament of Champions. It's a phenomenal day with multiple counties that come. It's kind of like your Special Olympics held for children with challenges, and it's always fun to see the smiling, happy faces. And the Extension Office also had a phenomenal reality store, and if anyone ever has a chance to volunteer for the reality store, which is 8th grade, they go into the middle school, they give the students a job, a career, a balance, a budget, and they have to go around and buy houses and food, and it's a lot of fun when they run out of money. And they say, well, what kind of car did you buy? Well, I bought the Ferrari. Don't think that works. Gordonsville Fire Department also held their annual banquet, and I spoke on the behalf of our board. I hope you all don't mind. Just thanking them for the 100 and...
You said.
I know, it is. I thank them for their service to our community and for the 152 service calls that they ran in mutual aid into our county. My western end, and I believe also your very western end, we couldn't do it without Gordonsville. They're a phenomenal volunteer fire company, and even our fire chief would echo that they are an essential, intricate part of emergency services in our county for that little western end. And also, just to wrap it up, the schools, I was part of the organizing committee for a vaping summit, which it was a really phenomenal summit we held. We invited legislators from both parties to come. They came, they offered their support, they listened to what we had to say about vaping and making the laws stronger for the stopping the illegal sales of vapes to our youth under 21. It's illegal. And so we discussed the potentials of what stronger laws could look like. The Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Sheraton was there as a representative. Oh, he's gone. Mr. Goodwin came. We had a phenomenal sampling of people from our community that showed the passion that we have for stopping this epidemic of vaping in our youth and really looking at ways. And I'll leave everyone with this, and I'll leave this with you guys. For every one puff on a vape, it's equal to 20 cigarettes. So one puff is equal to 20 cigarettes, and that's what's damaging and causing popcorn lungs. It is actually true. I listened to a podcast with a pulmonologist who said that. He said, I did not have youth coming in for cigarette smoking like I have with vaping, with needing lung transplants and having major lifelong damage to their lungs from vaping. So the state also sent a representative from the state health department from Richmond who came and said that they are collecting vapes. They encouraged us to send them in. They'd send us the packaging because they're trying to identify what's in these vapes. They're coming out of China, the chemicals, and they don't even know what's in these vapes that our youth are getting their hands on, and adults too, and smoking. So they're trying to figure out the exact chemicals, and they're testing them. They're going to the state crime lab to be tested. So it was interesting. And there's going to be a follow-up summit, and all the legislators were on board in July. So.
Good. Anyone else? Public or supervisor comments? Mr. McConnell?
I will defer to Supervisor Williams.
I think I will leave him last.
Oh, okay. Well, I have two examples of incredible standards that Louisa County sets.
Use your mic, sir.
One is the Tournament of Champions, obviously, on Friday. That included Louisa, Fluvanna, Greene, Nelson, and Goochland counties. My congratulations to Dr. Alperin and her volunteers, who I believe were the impetus behind this event year after year. It's only my first year participating in it. I think it shows what Louisans can do working in unison at their best. It was a fulfilling day, and I encourage everyone that can hear this to sign up next year. Big Clean recap. This was the weekend, this past weekend, for Louisa Clean's Big Clean, which is an event that you have people picking up trash along roads. On Saturday, 75 bags were picked up on Route 208 in three bridge areas. 75 bags of trash, those yellow bags. That included 22 volunteers, 54 hours, in teams of 3. On Sunday, they picked up 60 bags. So they went back and picked up the same areas that they didn't completely clean. 12 volunteers, 42 hours, in teams of 2. You know who these volunteers are? They're Amazon. They're REC, they're Dominion, they're citizens. Elk Creek Hunt Club participated, Lake Anna Wellness Studio participated, Lake Anna Rescue participated, Shorewood HOA participated, and Peace Love and Water Skiing participated. These are the corporations that want to do business in our community, setting a standard, and these are the citizens that are setting a standard too. They also, Louisa Clean visited 5 refuge centers and distributed 60 load covering nets. And I'm using one now, and I encourage everybody to cover their loads when they're traveling on the highways. That concludes my supervisor's comments.
Mr. Burns?
Mr. Chairman of the Board, I'm not going to break on Mr. Williams' thunder because I'm sure I know what he's going to talk about. But I just want to make sure that people understand. When I talk to other board members and they ask me, Fitz, it looked like Louisa board really does a good job of working together. And I tell people, I said, one thing that we've always agreed to at the end of the day, is it good for Louisa? We set aside everything else, and the question we ask, is this good for Louisa? And if we can honestly answer that, then we know what to do and we know what to answer. And I want the citizens to understand that, you know, you don't have to love us, you don't have to like us, but when we really discuss things and really want to get things done, our question, even if we may disagree, is this good for Louisa? And that's what our concern is, that's what we are. I've only heard one locality talk about a tax rate reduction. Only one. And I think that's phenomenal. I really do. That the board can work to do that because our homes get assessed like everybody else's. And I know a lot of you all know it because you go to the computer and you look at it. But we get assessed like anybody else. We have to pay assessments, and we understand your pain. We understand what you're going through. But I just thought I'll bring that out, that we really and truly try to do our very best in that manner.
Anyone else? I got a couple. I do want to touch again briefly on the budget. I already talked about how thrilled I am that working with staff, the finance committee, staff, and when I say staff, that's everybody from the county administrator to the deputy county administrator to the finance director, who does a phenomenal job, to department heads, other board members, citizen input. Supervisor McCotter talked a little bit about the budget roadshow. We held that in 3 separate areas of the county. I think that was great. There were 18 people who came in all 3 meetings. Remember, we're a county of 42,000 people. I'd really like to see a lot more participation because the board listens when people come out. The board listens when people come here. But that process to reduce the taxes, to be able to set this county on a financial footing, I think, for the next 30, 40, 50 years, you saw that start tonight. And I'm really proud of this board and the people that were involved. And now Ms. Colvin gets a break because the next budget cycle doesn't start till August, right? You have to write the budget book. So she gets about a 6-week break before we start all over again to do this again next year. But I was pleased with how that went. The other thing I want to talk about is I want to give you a little bit more of an update on Valley Link. And Louisa County hosted, as most of you are aware, got coverage in Engage Louisa and the Central Virginia and TV stations out of Richmond and Charlottesville and Cardinal News and all kinds of places, a summit of those 9 counties back in early April. I was really pleased to see a couple things that have happened since then, and I want to kind of tell you where I think we're going. Number one, we saw Culpeper, which is where that proposed Yeats substation would be. Culpeper passed a resolution that they were not only opposed to the transmission line, but they were opposed to the potential transmission station. That's important because they're the people that are going to have to rezone it over there. So they've went on the record, I think, and said where they're going. I was pleased to see Goochland County appropriate $250,000, $250,000 to start to have, when we get a regional approach to attacking this thing. I wasn't going to add this, but I got it. It was on my desk. This is a note from Jonathan Lau, who's supervisor from District 5 in Goochland. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read this line. It says, "I left the session believing the line is not a done deal." And I want people to know that. This isn't easy. This is a long fight. This board's in it. There are other boards that are in it. Most of those counties are in it. You'll be hearing more about the overall strategy. There is a reason we're not talking about the overall strategy right now, because until we have all those pieces in place, there's no reason to talk about that. But we are working on that overall strategy. Our outside counsel is actively working right now to help as a collective group to get that strategy in place. And I think you'll see other boards, hopefully this board included, I can't speak for the board, that will step up with financial support to continue to support that. I wanted to publicly thank Culpeper, Orange, Goochland, Fluvanna. This Louisa board, Appomattox is seems to be on board. Who am I leaving out?
Buckingham and Camp.
I'm leaving them out for a reason. So they haven't made that full commitment, but You know, everybody's got to do what's right for their county and right for their citizens, so we understand that. But what we're doing here, and I think what we're going to be moving forward, is going to continue to take a leading role in fighting Valley Link and fighting this proposal as it stands now. And I did not want this opportunity to go by when we have not publicly addressed some things for people to think that we're not doing something. We are very, very active, but it's not the time to roll that out. But I think it'll be time to roll that out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I do know, Mr. Kuhn, if you could give us an update, we do have some proposed code amendments in the Planning Commission.
Yes, sir. So at the last Planning Commission meeting, we had discussed an amendment to the comprehensive plan, specifically to routing of electric transmission lines. That has been vetted by council as well as outside counsel, so that was ready to go. I shared that with Planning Commission, and they have advertised it for their May 14th meeting, and they were fairly confident that we would have resolution, so we went ahead and jointly advertised, so it'll be at the May 18th Board of Supervisors meeting, so just 4 days later, but we're making sure that we meet the advertisement requirements, and that will help with some routing considerations when it does get to the SEC.
And expand on that a minute.
So when the SEC reviews applications for these types of transmission lines, they take into account how the plan coordinates or addresses localities' comprehensive plans. So with the comprehensive plan update, what we have in there is accounting for sharing existing easement, using existing easement through VDOT or other public utilities that may be present. And with that, as you all are aware, there's not a lot of co-location in easements or existing easements. So we think that's something that when SEC reviews it, they will need to address when that moves forward. So that's just something that, you know, we want to make sure that we're covering all our bases.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because I think our strategy will be approaching this from a lot of different angles as a county and a coalition of counties. But what we're preparing is for our argument in front of the SEC, and that's where all this is moving to. So, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, sir. Louisa County, population 43,000-ish, close enough. One of the fastest growing counties in the Commonwealth. We had a comprehensive plan meeting, roadshow about, 8 or 9, 10 years ago. I was pretty new on the board, and we were down in Holly Grove, and William Hale caught me and he said, "Tony," he said, "we've got to fix this fiber and internet and cell phone problem in the county." I looked him right in the eye and I said, "William, listen to me." I said, "We have the cheapest land of any county around. We have great schools, and it's a secret. It's not a secret anymore. And if and when we fix this problem, you better be prepared to do something, because you're going to have to do something to keep them out." Well, here we are. I like to quote the school, and that's Louisa leads. And we do lead. We lead county in everything we do. Mr. Barnes had a great preamble. We don't always make the best decisions up here, and sometimes we get it wrong, but it's not because we're trying to get it wrong. We're trying to do what's best for the county. So the stuff we do is intentional. It's not a mistake. We set Dominion, REC, and Firefly at the table, and REC was kicking and screaming, saying there's no way. Our customers don't want this. Well, they were begging for it. We have a almost completed project of a fiber pass of every residence and business in the county. We set the bar. Everybody followed us. Everybody's doing what we're doing. I made a comment last week to some friends of mine and said, let me tell you what differentiates Louisa. I said, it's Christian Goodwin, it's James Smith, it's Anderson Woolfolk, it's Doug Straley, it's Patricia Smith, it's Linda Buckler, it's Andy Wade, it's John Grubbs, it's our constitutional officers. These people are from here. They're not just employees. They care. You got Chris Kuhn and Wanda and people that we hire. We got Maggie Breakville sitting here. We hire good people, and they care too. We bring them on to a team that where they're valued, they know they're not going to get stuck on an island and get chopped off, and the board supports that. We have a school board and a board of supervisors that get along, that collaborate, and that are intentional with each other. And if you don't think that's rare, you go to any other county around and you ask them how they work things out. They go to war with each other. The same people with the same goal, trying to do what's best for the citizens of their counties. So let's talk about some other things. Tax rate reductions, not rebates. $30 million in CIP this year we paid in cash. My estimation is we have 60% of the cost of our new elementary school, which is going to come in 2 years, already sitting in the bank. We're not in a good financial position. We're in a great financial position. So let's talk about some ugly things. I hear stuff, data centers, data centers, data centers. We were intentional. We went after data centers. What about the electricity? That's not my problem. And you know what? Yeah, it's not real popular to say, is it? But you know what? If we don't get it here, Goochland's going to take it. Hanover's going to take it. Somebody else will take it. And they're still going to have to provide electricity to them. Our problems are looking out for our citizens. And yes, during construction, this is difficult. But it's not going to be under construction forever. I attribute this to just like the nuclear power plant was in the late 60s, early 70s. We're going to look back at a time from now, and we're going to be grateful it's here. The numbers are staggering if the General Assembly doesn't screw this up. The tax revenue from the current campuses we have of data centers will be more potentially than the operational budget of the entire county right now. Yeah, wow, that's right, Robin. Wow. We were intentional. We did this. And I will wear this like a badge of honor. I will not let people beat me up over it. Nobody wants a power line run through the county, a transmission line. They're not dropping any power off here. They're passing it through. So I just wanted to come out and say, yes, we were intentional and went after data centers. We're going to own this. We're going to wear it. And we're not going to back up. That's what we did. And there's 43,000 people in the county. And the most I've ever seen in one gathering against anything is about 100. And I'll be honest with you, not too many of them come from the Jackson District. Now, there's not a data center in Jackson District. I get it. But it's good for the county as a whole, and we were intentional, and we've done this intentionally. So I just wanted to say our piece about that. And we intend on passing this through and making sure that it counts towards the taxes that individuals in this county have to pay. We got a small deposit of it tonight because we don't have a lot of big revenue coming in because they aren't done. Not the first one's finished yet. Give it time, be patient, and it will come. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? No committee reports tonight. Board appointments. I don't believe we have board appointments. County Administrator's report, Mr. Coon.
Yes, sir. Chairman, members of the board, you have the information in your packet. I would just like to point out we do have a tourism 2025 report, which is an annual report. Shows that tourism generated over $100 million in total economic impact and supported 577 jobs in Louisa County. And there's a lot more information in there if you're interested. I did have the honor of being a judge for the National Civics Bee on April 16th. We had 20 Louisa County Middle School students compete, and we've got 3, Hayden Williams, Reagan Taylor, and Ethan Haas, who are going to be moving on to Williamsburg later this summer to compete for the state title. We had Household Hazardous Waste Day was on Saturday. We had 233 total vehicles, but Anderson told me the thing that was impressive, we had 65 vehicles waiting when they opened the gates. So there was quite a bit of people wanting to wait and get rid of their stuff. A couple events we have upcoming, Jack Jewett Day will be June 6th at Southern Revere from 11 to 4 p.m. And then the town of Louisa will have their 250th celebration event, 4th of July, that should involve fireworks. And one other item we have is an update regarding some grants. We filed Wanda filed a substantial amount of community funding grants through our legislators in Congress, and John McGuire got back to us that a new fire truck funding had made it through subcommittee. So we will hold our breath and hopefully we can have that covered with community funding, and we will be ready to present that to y'all shortly and stand ready to answer any questions.
So how many vehicles went through on household hazardous waste day?
233.
And I am going to ask a question, but I don't expect you to answer it. But that's, again, we do that twice a year.
Yes, sir.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, that because they can dump that stuff for free, that's about $125,000 to $150,000 that the county absorbs to then dispose of it on the other side.
When we get the reports back, because we do use a contractor, they will break down the total cost, and we'll make sure we can report what the savings was to the taxpayers.
Yes, thank you. I'd like for them to know that, because I'm glad we do it. I saw people post on Facebook that they were in line at the dump, some complaining, which I found interesting, but.
Unbelievable.
All right, we'll move on to our public hearings. Well, you become the new Miss Colvin. I mean, you're up, boom, boom, boom. First is an ordinance to amend Chapter 86 Land Development Regulations, proposed addition to the Gold Mine Creek Agricultural and Forestry District, which starts on page 207 of our packet. Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, members of the board, it's great to be back in front of you. I'm excited to say we have 5 public hearings tonight and 8 more that will be coming to you in the next couple of months. So it's great. It's going great in ag and forestal right now. So we'll start tonight. I do want to start with all 5 have been recommended by the Ag Forestal Rural Preservation Committee and the Planning Commission for approval. So we'll start tonight with the Gold Mine Creek. So the applicants for Gold Mine Creek are Joseph and Carol Coleman, Dustin and Courtney Madison, Colby and Courtney Horn, and James and Michelle Welsh. There are 5 parcels of 400 equals 402.2 acres. The proposed district addition is located 1/10 of a mile from one of the qualifying core portions of the Gold Mine Creek Agriculture and Forestal District, and the parcels are located south of Route 621, north of Route 613 in the Mineral Voting District. I will note that this area of the county has been designated low-density residential in the Lake Anna growth area, but the state code for agriculture and forestal districts do not mention zoning in any way. It is currently used as pasture, timber, firewood for farm use, and crops, and I do believe several of the applicants are here if you have questions. So I'll stand for questions at this time.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Maggie? All right, thank you, ma'am. I'll open the public hearing on this particular addition. Is there anyone here that would wish to speak on this? All right. Oh, man, you just got under the wire.
Just under.
It won't be so bad.
That's good.
That's good.
Vicki Hart, Louisa District. I'm only going to do this once. I'm in support of all of these rural designations, and I appreciate the fact that you are doing this effort. Thank you very much for trying to protect the rural land that we have that is actually used for agriculture and timber, which we all know we actually need. Thank you.
You're welcome. You should thank Maggie on your way back, because she's doing a great job on this.
Yes.
All right, anybody else wish to address the board? All right, I'll close the public hearing. I will say before we move on, all this particular ag and forestal district is in the mineral district. I'm 100% supportive. I cannot make a motion, so I ask.
I move we approve it.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve this addition to the ag and forestal district. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is an ordinance to amend Chapter 86, proposed addition to the Ellisville Agricultural District, which is 227.
So, again, this district is Ellisville. It was recommended by the Ag Forestal Committee and the Planning Commission for approval. The applicants are Joseph and Carol Coleman, Carl and Jean Coleman, Bird Coleman, Yvonne and Dean Perry Jr., Martin and Sally Agee, Sonny Agee, JJP Land and Lumber LLC, the JJP Timber Trust, John Gerald Purcell III, Helen and John Gerald Purcell III, Ridgecrest Farms LLC, and Robert Carr. It is 33 parcels totaling over 2,047 acres. The proposed district addition is located north of Route 22, west of Route 669, east of Route 693, and south of Route 613. The proposed district addition is either located adjacent to or within 1 mile or deemed agriculturally and forestally significant. And it is currently designated rural in the comprehensive plan, as well as a portion of it is low-density residential and mixed use in the Louisa growth area. So this is an extremely large addition that will, I think, will at least double the current Ellisville Ag Forestal District. The uses on the property are commercial timber, ornamental trees, firewood for farm use, forages, hay, pasture, crop production, and livestock production, including cattle, sheep, goats, and poultry. And I do believe we have an applicant present if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Breakville? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that would wish to address the board on this public hearing? All right, if not, I'll close the public hearing. Mr. Woodward?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the Ellisville Agricultural District. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is an ordinance to amend Chapter 86 Land Development, proposed addition to the South Anna Agricultural and Forestry District. Page 279 in your packet if you want to see.
Okay, so the South Anna District, again, this was recommended by the Ag Forestal Committee as well as the Planning Commission. The landowner is Riverview Farms Land LLC. It's 8 parcels totaling 413.264 acres. It is zoned A1 and A2. All parcels are located within 1 mile of the core. The property is located on the southeast side of State Route 208, south of State Route 800, along Route 604. The proposed district addition, again, is adjacent to the southern portion of the South Anna Agriculture and Forestal District, and it's located in the Mountain Road and Patrick Henry voting districts. The production on the property is livestock, including turkey and cattle, hay, pasture, crops, and timber. Steve Hopkins was planning to be here tonight. However, he is in the field and said the daylight was too nice, so he is still working. I'll stand for questions at this time.
Anyone have any questions for Ms. Breakville? Thank you, ma'am. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would wish to address the addition to the South Hannah Ag and Forestry District? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded, we approve the addition to the South End Agriculture and Forestry District. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a proposed addition to Taylor's Creek Agriculture and Forestry District.
Okay, so the Taylors Creek Agricultural and Forestal District, the landowners are Doug, Victoria, Seth, and Danielle Campbell, and Moby Jack LLC. It is 4 parcels totaling 79.87 acres zoned A2. It is 1/4 of a mile from the core. The parcels are located along the east side of Route 635 and north of Route 661 in the Jackson voting district. The production is timber, livestock including cattle, horses, poultry, vegetables, and bees. And the landowners were not able to attend tonight. However, they're extremely excited for land preservation and look forward to joining the district.
Any questions for Ms. Breakville? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board on the Taylors Creek Ag and Forestry District addition? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Mr. Williams?
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the amendment to the Taylors Creek Ag and Forestry District. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Before we move on to the Indian Creek Agricultural and Forestry District, what's the total that we're putting in tonight?
Roughly 3,000 acres. I think it's slightly less. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact
That's
number
okay.
off the top
I
of my
mean,
head.
I've
but
written it
it's
down, but-
roughly 3,000 acres.
And most of
That's
that's
1% of the county.
well, that's what I was going to say. Most of that's been done in when did we hire you?
So I came on September 8th, and since I started, we've had over 5,000 acres in applications submitted. You haven't seen all of those. They're starting to work their way through the process, but we've received over 5,000 acres in applications.
I wanted to get that on the record. You're doing a really great job, so I
Thank
wanted to
you.
commend you on that. Next is an ordinance to amend Chapter 86, proposed addition to the Indian Creek Ag and Forestal District. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this one was also recommended by the Ag and Forestal Committee and the Planning Commission. The landowners are Ronald and Jane Sharp and Eddie and Ira Anderson. It is 25.8 acres, 2 parcels zoned A2. They are roughly 1.75 miles from the core of that district, but are deemed agriculturally significant. The parcels are located west of State Route 33 along State Route 657 and are deemed rural in the comprehensive plan. Use on the property is livestock, including cattle, hay, housing of farm equipment, vegetables production, and timber production, farmwood for fire use. The landowners are not able to attend tonight, but are extremely excited to participate in the district and look forward to preserving their land.
And what voting district is it in?
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Breakville? Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board on the Indian Creek Ag and Forestal District Amendment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Mr. McConnor?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And properly moved and second that we approve the addition to the Indian Creek Ag and Forestal District. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Barnes?
So moved.
And properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.